Hi, welcome to the Clear and Present Truth Bible Study. In today's study, we find out exactly who God is. But in doing so, we continue to look at the marvels of this planet and human life, and we ask ourselves the question, is all that we see simply a coincidence? Hi, I'm Tori St. Cyr. Welcome to this Clear and Present Truth Bible Study. In today's study, we find out exactly who God is, but in order to do so, we must determine who or what created us. Was the world created from a Big Bang? Did life on this planet originate from a flash of lightning hitting a puddle of water? In today's video, we look at the awesomeness of creation, and we let you decide if all that we see, is it just a happenstance? Or are we intentionally created? In today's video, we look at the coincidence of creation. But before we do that, let's review what we learned in our previous study. In our previous study, we learned that many people believe in something called the Big Bang. This suggests that life began with a huge explosion in the sky. They also believe that life on this planet began from asteroids hitting this planet, and in those asteroids it carried water and the materials that had the ability to create life. They believe that lightning hit this water at the right moment, sparking what we know as the creation or the beginning of life. And billions of years later, here we are. Now, in today's study, we let you decipher, was this simply a happenstance? In other words, are the complexities of creation and the systems of life simply explained by a flash of lightning hitting the right puddle of water at the right time? Or is our existence intentional? But we begin with the assumption that life on this planet was simply a coincidence. Let's look at the self-contained huge ball of fire that is sitting literally in the middle of our solar system. Our planet, planet Earth, is approximately 93 million miles from the sun. And did you know that this is the perfect distance to support human life? The zone in which our planet resides in allows us to have water in liquid form. Did you know that if we were any closer to the sun, that we would burn up? And if we were any further from the sun, we would freeze to death? Our precise location from the sun allows planet Earth to support and maintain life. And what's even more crazier, ladies and gentlemen, is all of this is simply an accident. It's simply a coincidence. It was like the universe knew where to place the sun, and the universe was right. Let's look at another coincidence called the moon. The moon reflects the sun's light, and at nighttime, it gives us a dim light to our skies. But also, did you know that the moon has gravity? And this gravity or gravitational pull affects the earth? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our waves in our seas and oceans are created from the gravitational pull that the moon has. You see, ladies and gentlemen, if the moon somehow came out of its current position and became closer in proximity to the earth, this would be catastrophic for the planet. You see, the closer the moon gets, the more the gravitational pull affects planet Earth. And this gravitational pull, the increase in this gravitational pull, would result in tidal waves becoming exponentially larger in our seas and oceans, making ocean travel essentially impossible. This would quickly erode coastlines in every continent and submerge almost every island in the world. This would result in earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occurring around the world, all because the moon got a little bit closer to planet Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, how lucky can we be that the moon was placed just in the right position to give us just the right amount of light at night? And also, the moon was placed just in the right position to give us just enough gravitational pull so that YouTubers can create 10 hours worth of video content of ocean sounds so that you and I can go to sleep. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at another coincidence called the Earth's rotation. You see, we got to thank our lucky stars that when the Earth was created, it knew that it needed to rotate. You see, because if the Earth did not know that it needed to rotate, what would happen is the side of the Earth that faced the sun would eventually scorch everyone. And the side that never saw the sun would eventually freeze everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so lucky. It's like we're playing the lottery and we just keep winning and winning and winning. We have to be the most luckiest people in all the universe. Now, let's look at another coincidence. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Bang somehow bung us with something called the tree. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath. Now, every time you intake or take a deep breath, you intake something called oxygen. Well, unless your spouse eats refried beans every night. Help me. But for the majority of us, when we intake or when we breathe in, we intake something called oxygen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to blow your mind with this, is that trees, they provide the planet with oxygen. Now, it even gets crazier. When we exhale something called carbon dioxide. And would you believe me if I told you that trees breathe in carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen, and we inhale oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide? So not only do trees help our existence, we also help trees' existence. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. We are so lucky, and it's such a coincidence that the planet Earth knew that we would need to breathe oxygen, and the Big Bang gave us trees, ladies and gentlemen. Such a coincidence. Now, let's look at another coincidence called water. Ladies and gentlemen, this accident that we call water is just amazing. Our bodies are made up of 60 to 70% water. And it's crazy because when the asteroid that brought the water came onto this planet and the lightning struck and we began to grow as a creation, somehow planet Earth knew that we would need water to survive. And somehow clouds now form in our sky and it rains down this liquid called H2O, or as we call it, water. It rains down rain upon this planet to support life so that we can drink water and that we can eat food and essentially sustain life on this planet. The Big Bang knew that we would need water, and just miraculously, just by happenstance, just by luck, the planet Earth actually rains down from the sky water. Now, we also know that it doesn't just take water to sustain life on planet Earth. We also have to have something called food. And yes, another just streak of luck. It just so happened, ladies and gentlemen, that this planet Earth actually grows food for us. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. Planet Earth actually provides us with food. It's like the Big Bang knew what we would need to survive and has given us everything that we need. I mean, can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if we had to import food from another planet? Hello? Out of this world pizza? Yeah, I'd like 2 large cheese pizzas with veggies on them. Yeah, that's delivery. Yeah, how long will it take to get here? Did you say 8 months? Now, I want you to think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I can take this small seed and I can plant this seed in soil here on planet Earth. And I can use rainwater to water this seed, and in conjunction with the sun from our solar system, and this seed will grow into a tree that will provide me food to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, but don't get crazy. All of this simply happened by an accident. We have to be the luckiest people in all of the universe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, another coincidence called the human body. There's so many coincidences in the human body, but I'm just going to key on just a few. Did you know that our bodies, the Big Bang or evolution, knew that we would need protection, and so it gave us something called Bones? Yes, ladies and gentlemen. You see, we have ribs, and our rib cage helps protect our lungs and our heart. We have a skull, and the skull is to protect our brains. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this hard material in your head is for protection. It's for a purpose. So the next time that your mother or father tells you that you have a hard head, you look them straight in the eye and you tell them, so do you. Now, you also must know before you say this that your gluteus maximus, also called your behind, does not have any protective bones, so just be aware when you tell them this. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, this is such a coincidence. This is such a happenstance that our bodies knew that we would need protection, and it gave us bones to protect our most vital organs. We are the luckiest people. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, we're rolling dice, and every time we roll the dice, it's a 7 or an 11. Every time we're playing the lottery, we got the most winningest number every time. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what luck the Big Bang has given us. Ladies and gentlemen, our streak of luck just continues to go, because now I want to look at another accident called reproduction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Big Bang just keeps bigging and banging, because did you know that two people can come together and create another person? Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Whatever was that material that was in the water that the lightning struck from the asteroid that came down in the water and the lightning struck it, whatever that material was in that water, it simply was amazing because, ladies and gentlemen, and it gives a different connotation to something must be in the water. Whatever was in that water simply knew to create a male and female version of most species on this earth. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Big Bang somehow in evolution created us so that somehow the male and the female version can come together. And after coming together, 9 months after my spouse requesting ice cream and pickles, another human comes out of her. How lucky can we be, ladies and gentlemen? How lucky can it be that humans can create a whole nother human? Ladies and gentlemen, this is unprecedented. It's like evolution won't allow us to lose. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Oh, another one. Oh. Like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, with evolution, we just can't lose. Now, what's amazing is that even though we were evolved, or we are evolved from apes, we simply can't mate with an ape. In other words, a man and an ape cannot mate together and create a half ape and a half human. Evolution must know what it's doing. I don't know why, but for some reason we can't, even though we are evolved from apes. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, just think of how much chance had to happen in order for you and I to be here. It just so happened that a Big Bang sparked out of nowhere in our universe. And it just so happened that an asteroid that just happened to be carrying the materials that had the building blocks of life came to this planet Earth. And it just so happened, ladies and gentlemen, that that asteroid hit in a place where there was going to be a lightning strike, and that lightning struck at the right time, at the right place, creating the building blocks of life. And it just so happened that the sun just happened to be the right distance from the planet that this asteroid landed on to support human life. And it just so happened that the moon was the right distance so that the gravitational pull didn't destroy us. And it just so happened, ladies and gentlemen, that this planet had clouds or began to create clouds and would give us water to drink. And it just so happened that this planet had trees that would produce fruit and give us oxygen. Ladies and gentlemen, what a coincidence that this planet called Earth, that this solar system that we live in, was simply an accident. It's an amazing accident. Can you believe that it was all by accident that we have an amazing human body that protects us, that gives us the ability to process information, to make calculations that even the most complex computers cannot perform? And even more amazing, it allows us, our human bodies allows us to duplicate ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this by accident. We are so lucky. It's like we rolled dice. And every time we roll the dice out of 999,000 times, every time it was a winner. Now, I want to give you another possible scenario. Now, I want you to take a look at this globe that's sitting in my hand. All right? Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. If I were to tell you that this globe did not create itself, it was not self-created, then there's only one other assumption that we can make. If this globe that's sitting in my hand did not create itself, then we must determine that something or someone else created this globe. If the earth did not create itself, the only other option is something or someone created all that we see. You see, there are millions who believe that everything that you see was just an accident. It's simply a coincidence. And we only touch just the tip of the iceberg because there are probably hundreds of thousands of things on this planet, things in just creation, that it would just be 1 out of a trillion for everything to line up and to come together so that what we have today as life is simply a coincidence. It would just be 1 in a million, 1 in a trillion, really. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many honest people who believe that everything that we see was just an accident. It was just a coincidence. And they have the right to believe that if they choose to. However, is it possible that we did not create ourselves and that someone or something created all that we see and that we were actually created intentionally? Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that something or someone created this planet? And this entity knew that placing us too close to the sun would burn us up. And this entity also knew that placing us too far away from the sun would freeze us to death. So this entity thoughtfully placed us in an environment, in an atmosphere where we could thrive. What if I told you that this entity also gave us the moon and placed it just the right distance that it would not destroy this earth? And it also provides us a planet-sized nightlight so that we can see in the dark. And what if I told you that this entity was wise enough to ensure that the earth rotated so that one side of the planet wouldn't burn us to death and the other side of the planet wouldn't freeze us to death? What if I also told you that this entity had the insight to know that we would eat and gave us trees that provide us with oxygen? But not only that, they also provide us with food to eat. What if I told you that this entity created a liquid called water that we need in order to survive? And so this entity created clouds in the sky that provides rain so that we can drink and be nourished. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the complexities within our solar system and within our atmosphere and within our planet and within our species, within our bodies, I believe that those complexities determine that life could not have simply created itself, but I believe that this entity actually created life, created our genetic makeups, and then gave us consciousness. You see, the atheist has a hard time believing what they cannot explain. If God exists, how did he arrive? What process did he use to create something out of nothing? You see, with the Big Bang and evolution, it provides them a process, even though the process is flawed. But if you're like me, the lack of understanding the intricacies of how something was created doesn't deter me from believing that someone more advanced than me actually created it. In other words, I don't need to know how God created something in order to believe that he is the creator. You see, science can't explain luck. It can't explain coincidence. It can't explain chance. And time again, we either got lucky or someone or something had the power to create all that we see. And I believe the latter. You see, friends, what you must understand is that this entity that we've been talking about is who we call God. Ladies and gentlemen, God is the entity responsible for creating you and me. God is the one that created this universe. God is the one that created our solar system. God is the one that created our planet. God is the one that created the animals, the trees, the fruits and the vegetables, the moon, the star, everything that you can see, including your eyes themselves. They were created by the entity we call God. Now, this brings us to a few questions. Why did God create us? What does God want? But this is good news, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm here to tell you is that God has a book. And in this book, we learn some of the things about God, some of the things about what does God want. It teaches us a little bit about why life is the way that it is right now. And we call this book the Bible. Now, I hope that you stay with me as we continue to delve a little deeper into this book called the Bible, and as we begin to understand exactly what the Bible says about God. And if you're curious to know what this book really is about, I challenge you to subscribe to my channel, and I challenge you to follow me with these studies as we journey through what is the Bible really trying to tell us. Now, regardless whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, or whether you're not even sure if God exists, I want to personally thank you for watching, and I want to thank you for listening. And now you understand the clear and present truth Bible study on who God is.